Hey guys, welcome to the 4CV1BB tournament. This is the finals, so, congrats for everyone watching this. And congrats for BAMF and PMW for getting this far. PMW had to beat, we'll get through the round of robin system on the original weekend, but now they had to beat Black Sun, and then in the semi-finals they had to beat Russian Alliance, and BAMF had to play against BAMP, and then they had to play against Team Navyfield to get here. So congrats to these teams. Now they're playing for first and second place, winner of 200 and 150 olive prizes. So we're really excited to see what happens in this game. Just a bit of history in the previous matches. PMW got lucky in the Russian Alliance team because one of the Russian Alliance BBs crashed, so it'll be interesting to see if this game remains crash free or what. But we're looking forward to this, so just see how this game plays out. Now the BAMF team is using a Bismarck, as we can see now. They have a Kaga 28, an Arc Royal, an Essex, and a Spavero. Oh no, we're already having a little bit of a fighter duel between the two BBs. The PMW team is using an Essex, P72, a Joffrey, a Graf Zeppelin 2, and an armoured Prince of Wales, which is literally repair capped. You need to go watch the game with Black Sun in the quarterfinals, because that thing is a beast. It's just super reps. So we'll see how this game turns out, whether or not there's like a proper fight going on here between the BBs, or maybe it gets bombed or whatnot, and see what kind of rep that it can pull off, or how it plays out. But right now, the BAMF team sending all the, most of their fighters over the enemy prow, checking out what the enemy team's up to. Can't really tell right now if there's any like sneaky dive bombing going on. I think that's BAMF is torpedo bombers in the south, just going over their. Yeah, that's a double wave right there. That's two waves of torpedo bombers, as far as I can tell. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not that gets intercepted or not, or whether it gets through, because that's enough to kill any ship on the PMW side. He's just sneaking along close to the south border. Looks to me like he's going to get intercepted here by those fighters that see them and they're dripping down. Yeah, they're all getting shot down, and there's the risk of a double wave. If that thing had connected, I mean, he's losing all the TVs. It's a real sucker. That's two waves of TVs. That's a lot of planes to lose without getting any reward for it. He might get some hit, but the thing is, he's lost most of he's lost 2/3. What, a couple of TVs left, and it's a miss as well. It's a bad hit. It was kind of pretty desperate. PMW just backing off now. Oh, what's happened here? Oh, bummer. So PMW saying karma. One of their CVs has dropped. So one of PMW's CVs has crashed after the 30 seconds. So whereas they got lucky in the semi-finals against Russian Alliance, spoiler alert if you haven't watched the semi-final yet, against Russian Alliance, here they are unlucky themselves that they lost the CV. Now, it could be worse. I mean, they could have lost the BB, so now BAMF for 3 points up, and if it was just a BB, they would only be 1 point up. But the fact is, they can still hold the line with the BB. It's not a straight up rush. So now the question is, can PMW pull this back? Because they're a CV down. Now, they could be, I don't think they're a bombing CV down. They're down a fighter CV, I reckon. Oh, we can hear something here. So maybe PMW is trying to dive bomb from the north. So we just have to wait and see what PMW's battle plan is. But it's definitely in BAMF's favour right now. It possibly even looks like the Arc Royal was hit earlier by some bombers, because you can see the smoke, but he's repped, and that's getting fixed. He's launching fresh TBs off the BAMF side on the Arc Royal, but I think we can hear fighters coming in the north, so we'll see whether or not they're actually paying attention to the sound and intercepting. Yeah, alright, so we got PMW still has their Soviet dive bomber, so they still have their offensive CVs, I suppose that's a small bonus, but they all get intercepted. So that's a bummer. He should have enough planes though for a couple more waves. So, and of course at the same time the POW can rush, I suppose. But the thing is, that's an armored POW that only goes about 39 knots, whereas the Bismarck goes 42 knots. So I mean, if it comes to a rushing game, he's going to know. And the fact is, the Bismarck already knows it's an armored POW because he's been firing armor-piercing shells the entire time now. So he's not going to get caught off that respect. And because they're down a fighter CV, I'm not sure PMW can guarantee sight, or sight denial, so that the POW can rush in. So we're just gonna have to see how this plays out. Yeah, but I mean, we're only about 4.5 minutes into this game, so there's another 10.5 minutes. Anything could happen, but at the same time, the plane advantage with the BAMF side. So if it goes too long, PMW could find themselves being bled dry. Right, so we've got some German fighters coming from BAMF from the south. For another second wave of TBs for the UK in the south, it looks like those are PMW's dive bombers, which are trying to do flying circles. It looks like they're just going to get intercepted. Unless... Oh, hello. He's killed off all the fighter waves. So now, that's quite a lot of dive bombers coming in for the Bismarck. Can he hit him in the tail? Now, there's a fire wave incoming. Is this going to stop them? A couple of clips. A couple have got to hit. How much damage is that going to do? Oh, fair enough. Is wounded. You know, the PMW guy has to go for it, and he is going for it. But the problem is the Bismarck is now running away at 42 knots. The POW's charging in at 39. He can't keep pace, and he's being outranged by the Bismarck as well. This is just not going to work. I think the POW has to back off. So he thought he saw a chance, and that the Bismarck was hit, but he had to back off. Now we've got another issue of torpedo bombers. So the torpedo bombers are coming in fairly unmolested. Most of them escape. Some of them get shot down, but it's going to be a tail hit more than anything else. Now, it's unlikely that POW has much bulge, so his soft defense has probably been broken now, so he's going to be quite fragile. I mean, this could be all over for PMW now, because if this Bismarck can push in, he's got the speed advantage. He could do a couple more shots and kill off the POW, but of course the POW, the good thing working for it is it's got a huge repair capacity, so just a little bit of time and it should be able to recover. So, yeah, the POW knows it's coming. He's running as well, so it's going to be hard for him to be hit, because they're not going to be splash damage, it has to be accurate hit, so they'd be... I think we're trying to find some dive bombers in the north there. Maybe they can sneak in, yeah, because we can hear them there. Okay, it depends whether or not BAMF is paying attention to the north flank, because everything right now is both teams are anchoring themselves to the south, so they can't get surprised by the south and the middle, so that's fine. But the fact is, none of the teams are carrying scouts, or none of the BAMF team are carrying scouts, so they can't leave them in their north, just flying around as a sort of warning, you know, to anything that's coming along. Oh, I think they're onto it though, because they're sending fighters as an intercept. There you go. So there's the Soviet dive bombers from the PMW team that's been intercepted. Probably just from listening more than actually scouting out yourself. Right, well, we're roughly about 7 minutes now into this game. Looks like the POW is repped up and good to go again. Yeah. Bismarck's taking quite a bit of a beating, so he needs to... I think he's trying to back up. You know, he's repaired now, or he's repairing now. The POW's just eating his shells, so Bismarck's just, you know, using his range, using his speed, whatnot, constantly chipping away at the POW. And if by some miracle PMW sinks the CV, so much damage has been done by the Bismarck to the POW that it's probable that BAMF still has an advantage in this game. So we'll see how this turns out. So here's some torpedo bombers. Getting kind of picked off. Some tail hits, I reckon. He's gonna get hit in the back. It's hard to say because the POW is like full repped. That might be his soft defense. It might not be soft defense. Problem with tail hits though is it cuts the damage in half. So he's probably got 0.2 belt, and he's gonna have the tail hits. So I think there's only about 1,000 damage. Hello, PMW dive bombers, completely unmolested, going for the Bismarck. One large wave. The fighters are not going to get there in time. They've been interrupted by the fighters. What's going to happen here? And oh, the Bismarck's crippled on the orange. Oh, and they can't see the Prince of Wales. Where's the Prince of Wales? He's going to be charging in. That POW's going to be charging in. This is his one chance. The Bismarck cannot escape. He's crippled. He's wounded. An armoured POW coming in. He's got the speed advantage. There's the shells. There's the hits. The BMW gets his ship sunk. Right. This is interesting. It's now 3-1 to BAMF point-wise. BAMF is still winning, but now they're a BB down. And PMW... Oh wait, no, crap. Yeah, so PMW, you know, they only have 1 point. But crucially it's the BB. So they now have 5 minutes and 40 seconds to haul ass, chase down those CVs and kill them. So this armoured POW, who has probably not much overheat left, is going to have to, you know, get across. And at the same time, he's got to resist torpedo attacks and dive bomb attacks. So it's different from previous games where you stick one BB and you're already in advantage. No, you know, PMW really needs to be super aggressive here because they don't have the time to mess around. They're still going to lose in this current scenario. So I mean, that was a lucky good dive bomb coming in from, you know, north, which since people just don't seem to be paying attention to here. So And the fact is, PMW still has that Soviet dive bomber. Maybe he can pull off a set. Oh look, dive bombers on the Kaga 28. Is he gonna get them? Oh, he crippled them. Yes, there you go. Right, so two things going on at the moment. The dive bombers made it their way through, may have distracted them, but they sunk the Kaga 28. So now PMW's winning. They don't need to send their BB as a suicidal rush. Another thing, oops, I torped you, mistook the rules. He saw the PMW CVs passing from the C into the D column and issued a warning, but he did a point deduction rather than just issuing a warning, so I countermanded that and said no, that's not the way it's supposed to be. The points are 4-3 in the favour of PMW. That's how it is. So that's just me trying to clear things up there in the text. But anyway, apart from that, PMW, from being one CV down by some unbelievable miracle, have not only managed to bomb the BB, then have their own slower power that's armoured catch up and sink it. They also managed to get another bombing run in on a Kaga, which obviously didn't have an soft defense, and so it was a reason to perhaps bring in like a restore on one of the R slots. And bam, the game has completely changed. So now PMW is in the winning leg, and plus they have the BB advantage, so that guy, there's no reason why their POW can't continue to chase down the BAMF guys. So from this point of view now, it looks like PMW is going to be first place, you know, with BAMF in second, so we're just going to see how this plays out. Trundling along like 20 knots or something. Yeah, but although BAMF might have air superiority here, maybe it doesn't look like it's playing much. Or even then, those look like hostile, so they totally know more dive bombers. They're going to go for the Essex here. Now, does the Essex have soft defense? Yes, he does. So he's able to kind of not shrug that off. He probably had about between 500 and 700 soft defense and not much health there. Oh, and the torpedo bombers missed really badly for the BAMF side on the POW. They really needed those to connect, so this is really bad now for the BAMF team. I'm not sure what they can do here, aside from just keep sailing north. But I mean, the POW is now in range. He's probably going to start firing on them. And the Essex is pretty crippled. I don't think it has any kind of support sailors on board, be it a repair or engineer, so he's going to be clipped off right now. There you go. Right, so now it's really in the favour of PMW here. So more torpedo bombers from the Ark Royal. Thing is, they need to connect, and even if they do connect, we've seen with like tail hits and whatnot, that POW is paying attention like a hawk to torpedo bombers. I mean, if you know the torpedo bombers are coming, it's a simple case of if he releases the torpedo bombs too far away so that it can't be turned into, then the POW just simply turns left, eyes away from the torpedo bombers. Right? Whereas if you get too close so that he can't turn away to the left, he'll just turn straight into the right and then turn into the torpedo bombers. And I have to see if the torpedoes actually hit, because I was paying attention more of the Ark Royal getting shot at. But even if they do connect in the centre line, it's not enough to kill him off, because we've already seen it would wound him, but it wouldn't finish him. So he needs a double strike, which he did against, you should really check the quarterfinal match against BAT, because it was a double strike, which is 2 waves of torpedo bombers against a target. That was really, really cool. So, I think this is going to be the end of this now. So, if you haven't watched the other matches in the 4CV1BB tournament, they're all on my YouTube channel. There's 4 matches in the quarterfinals, the 2 from the semi-finals, there's a 3rd match playoff, and there's a couple of matches from the round robin stages, which happened last week. So by all means, go check them out. They're all pretty awesome. So I'd also like to thank every team that kind of took part, you know, everyone that kind of helped ref. That was really, really appreciated, because the tournaments doesn't happen without the refs. Refs are everything. So thanks to them. And congrats, I guess, to PMW for pulling out the bag and getting a win. Haha, way to go, guys. So, GG there. Thanks to TNF for providing the all the prizes and whatnot for the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place. 200 per player, 150 per player for 2nd, and 100 for 3rd place. And also for TNF for providing a team themselves, and the 16 teams that took part, so that was pretty awesome. Okay, that's 30 seconds to go, so yeah, PMW won. Great. Okay. Look forward to the future. After the Enterprise League, I may be running another tournament if there's interest and everything was cool. So I'll catch you guys later, and thanks for watching the videos. Right, cheerio.